Warforged, Barbarian, pure. Making the build, set it out to be pretty much jack of all trades. Anyone can play it. Not a ton of weaknesses. I've played many Barbarians on hardcore before. I've done Barbarians at cap with like bears, druid splashes, wolf splashes. I've done lots of Barbarians through heroics and gear farmers. They work out very well. Some of the strengths is that while you're leveling, very smooth, very cut and dry. Swing big axe, big sword, big any two-hander. So you get to improve your slashing, and then any two-hander that slashes works out great. As you go higher, your AoE will get better with strike through, and also cleave, great cleave, and other active abilities. It'll work very well. Blood Tribute, one of the most powerful abilities in all of hardcore. Free temp HP every 3 seconds. You can tank through traps, you can tank through mobs, you can tank through anything. All you have to really do with the class itself is manage your rage until you get Timeless Rage, until you get Tireless Rage, whatever it is. That makes it so you don't have to drink, you don't get fatigued. Before then, local lesser restore pot, and you're chilling. You'll be able to deal with large packs of monsters with strike through in your cleaves, as well as single targets just with overwhelming damage. Some weaknesses that you are melee all the time, and that makes it so your ranged options are very limited. Some like a hammer, ranged throwing hammer, does scale with strength for its damage, but you won't be doing a ton of it. You're tanky enough that you can generally get to whatever ranged enemy there is without much issue. With that being said, casters can be a bit of a bane, especially early levels. You're more susceptible to save DCs, hold will isn't as high. So getting freedom of movement is powerful. Having people that can lock up casters or just rushing down casters is big important. And it's pretty one-dimensional. You swing big axe, you press a few buttons, call it a good day. That can be very powerful for some people. It's really good, not having to manage a ton of resources, manage a ton of equipment, a bunch of abilities. And at the same time, if you're looking for more, that can be a down. From there, we are a Pure Frenzy Barbarian. You get extra crit multi at the top of the tree. You get imbue dice with Frenzy, and then a ton of extra imbue dice, as well as big damage on Storm's Eye as a capstone. You can just do a ton of burst when it procs. As you go up, you get a ton of free strike through, letting you cleave through all the mobs. You'll get a few W attacks in cracking and exhausting blow, as well as tantrum for more AoE. And that's that. Blood Tribute's one of the biggest things. Slamming Blood Tribute, always keep it up. Have infinite con because of rage and all of your strength, all of your constitution bonuses, and you'll do great. You go up Ravager to get a 10W attack. That'll combo very well with other abilities later, as well as bonus damage, 3W attack. We are playing in Warforged. My group will be running a pure Warforged group to be able to self-heal each other with artificers, with casters, and while a Barbarian doesn't need it often, it's nice to have if you do take any health damage, get plastered Blood Tribute, just get topped off. That being said, Warforged does give a ton more HP with constitution bonuses in the racial amount through the racial tree and toughness feats, as well as determination bonus to melee power and PRR, well, and more PRR with adamantine body. One of the biggest things that helps the Barbarians is the 0.5W on all of your attacks, on your weapon itself. We take 5% damage anywhere we can take it. It's flat, applies to everything, works out great. With that, things like Slaughter, 5W attack and Tantrum, 4W and Exhausting Blow, anything like that combos very well with Adrenaline, which is what we'll be playing in Fury of the Wilds, dealing increased damage. 75 here, another 75, another 75. You press Adrenaline, you press your big attack, to demolish monsters. This is where a lot of your single target at endgame will come from. And then your strike through and cleaves will help deal with the packs of monsters getting to the boss. You get a ton of HP with your primal screams, a ton of strength. All the cores give a ton of strength. You get unconscious range, which is really nice for hardcore. Gives you just more leeway if you do end up getting bursted down, if you're getting held at endgame, anything like that. And then Unbridled Fury as an epic moment makes it so you pretty much cannot die. And someone can heal you up if you're playing in a group, as well as adrenaline, healing so much, like just proccing adrenaline so much on a single target. Press it, keep swinging, it'll do great. The mantle doesn't do a ton for you in Fury, so we do take the mantle in Legendary Dreadnought, getting us an extra W on our attacks. Fantastic. As well as bonus abilities while action boosting, which we're haste boosting all the time in through Vistani. And going up and getting more double strike, capping at our double strike as much as possible. Extra imbue dice and ghost touch is always nice as well. With that, we'll go over feats. So here, very, very simple feats, all straight down the line. Take the two-handed fighting line as soon as you can to get all the strike through, get all the bonus ability score damage for your primary weapon. Power attack scales very well, double bonus when you're wielding a two-hander. And then we have extra power attack scaling in the Barbarian trees. Improved crit slashing, looking for really big numbers with guaranteed crits. So great axe is the primary weapon of choice, which is a slasher. While leveling up, you can use falchions, which are great. Gives you a ton of consistent crits. Great swords, just the most general, most consistent amount of damage. Or great axes for the biggest burst. And as you get into epics, perfect two-handed, more melee power, more ability score mod, adamantine body for a ton more defenses, PRR, double strike, and then weapon focus slashing and power crit for bonus scaling and critical damage. Nothing a ton to take in the last level, so we just go with the enhanced elemental die. From there, we'll look at gearing. Gearing, the sets we're rocking are Devil's Inferno for ability score, double strike, fort bypass, and melee and ranged power. All great things for us. We're not scaling imbue die as much as possible, so we don't need the shadows emptiness for the bonus imbue die. Take the fort bypass. We're going 4-piece forbidden knowledge. We lose 15 melee and range power, but we gain a ton more else, and just the +3 abilities, +4 damage and attacks and profane PRR are all great stats for us. We're end up rocking a Dino Bone Ring. This gives us our Constitution, extra deadly. This isn't necessary. You already have deadly 11, so if you don't want to put an augment here, if you don't want to spend the resources to do that, get our MRR here, and then Relentless Fury for another 5% damage. That's great. Dropping or going with the Devil's Inferno means that we're dropping the part of the family set with our docent, but we are picking up the Vecna docents, the Vecna set, which the helmet and cloak giving quality, accuracy, deadly, and insightful double strike, insightful armor piercing, and then accuracy, deadly, armor piercing, seeker on the helm. One of the best 2-point combos for any DPS build there is out there. So that's where our docent, helmet, and cloak are. Going down the list, TOE goggles for quality con, and false life. The docent does not carry false life, so it's nice to have that so you don't have to augment it. A little bit of insight. You can have targets focusing you a lot without much issue. Blood tribute keeps you up, especially in epics. So much temp HP, and you can take it. You have a ton of general HP and tankiness. We are Warforged, so this is nice having Repair Amp and Insightful PRR and Profane Life Force. All great things, as well as giving us our Forbidden Knowledge set. Bone Figurine, quality strength, great double strike, Insightful Seeker. We want that Seeker as high as possible to get those big numbers with adrenaline spikes. And the cloak. The Buckle of Transformation. This gives us our main strength. We already have Insightful Deadly on the cloak, but insightful double strike on the cloak, but this gives us our insightful deadly because we're not running a trance. This also gives Kaneth combat infusion, which with the amount of people you should be attacking, 5% you get, but when it procs, it's 4 alchemical strength, con, and dex, and then 5% to double strike. That extra strength, con, and dex will just be nice, and you're swinging so much that when it procs, it's just bonus damage. A ring, very simple, extra HP, quality MRR, death block, vitality, great utility all around. We have a bit of an extra ring slot, which is nice. These gloves, mostly used for the insightful MRR and the forbidden set, a forbidden knowledge set, gives us more tankiness, especially against magic, which can be one of our weakest elements. Take a lot of physical power, physical damage. With insightful MRR, we'll be able to take some magic as well. Boots, insightful strength, speed, great. We already have die hard through other means, but other 2 stats are fantastic. We already went over the Dino Bone Ring for our artifact. And then the Bloodbark Bracers, giving us our quality double strike. We already have speed elsewhere. And insightful deception, improved deception, can make it nice to proc sneak attacks for teammates. We don't use any sneak attacks, but being able to proc that for the other people is great. And then having Raging Strength built into the kit is really nice, just so we don't have to do any swaps for that. That being said, we do have one swap that I recommend, that being this Titan's Grip Clicky. This gives the Titan's Grip, which is 6 psionic bonus to strength. 3 damage, may as well take it. You click it before fights, 5 charges. It's fantastic. One of the few places that you can get that. The other place is Mindsunder, I believe. Titan's Grip Gauntlets. And so with that, it leads us on to what our breakdown is. We have an insane amount of strength while raging. This does not include Titan Grip. This does not include Kaneth Infusion. So this can be even more. You're looking at easily into the 100s consistently, even up to 110 and above. Constitution, same thing. Get even more. Gives us so many defenses. All of our other stats we don't really need. We have freedom of movement on the docent, which takes care of a lot of that CC worries, making our saving throws, reflex, and will not as important. Fortitude, we have a big chunk of it. Physical breakdown on our defenses, looking at 3,200 health, which gives just a ridiculous amount of health to play with. You have the extra 10% movement speed for Barbarian, so you're able to run around the field a ton. Your PR and MRR, your PR is fantastic. MRR, a little more lacking, but we make up with that with the just raw amount of health that we have. 200 PRR, 67% DR is amazing. Looking at our offensive breakdown, then 62% double strike, that can go up with the Kaneth Infusion. We're looking for around the 70% mark. So with Reaper Action Boost double strike, we hit that 100 cap for melee. Great. A little bit of Imbue Dice is nice. Huge amounts of melee power, and that can go even higher if you're up in Fury, if you're up in Storm's Eye. 241, hitting around the 250 mark. Great amount of melee power. A fair amount of fort bypass as well, and we're always hitting 3 targets with strike through. This can go up by even more. With focus wide, deals a ton of damage. Weapon itself, fantastic 2-hit. Shouldn't have any problems doing 2-hit. Almost 200 bonus damage with max Storm's Eye. If that's even a little low, if that's at the tail end, still have 180. It's an insane amount of damage. Mirrored the same thing with our crit damage. So whenever you're proccing adrenaline and swinging with your 10W attack and slaughter, you're dealing so much damage. Fantastic. Crit threat range 7 through 20, so you're always critting unless you're doing a 1. If you're doing, say, a Great Lever or Leveler, sorry. 16 increased crit threat range. brings it just a fail on a 1. It's because you missed. That in itself is the Barbarian build.